Hello, my name is Latanos Mitchell, and this is my 15th ever Bold and the Beautiful review for the episode I aired on May 4th, 2023, episode 9010. And well, if you see my video from yesterday, then you know I probably didn't say a lot of nice stuff about Thomas. Well, I would like to stress this video that my opinions of him hasn't changed, and I don't think my opinions of him ever will change. But I think what has changed at least is that I think now it's starting to make more sense. It's starting to make a lot more sense of what is actually going on here. I don't think I don't think what we all thought it was going to be is what is actually going on here. There's something completely different going on, and I don't think any of us saw, just from what I've seen. But before I get to that, I'm gonna start with the other parts of this episode because I don't think just randomly talking about stuff really works as a video. I think it takes forever, and I don't need to be talking for 30 minutes because I wouldn't want to watch a video of me talking for 30 minutes because I get annoyed listening to myself. So I'm gonna start off with as you know, the comedian J.J. Walker from Good Times was on here. Well, I thought yesterday he was pretty good, as I said in my review. But today he came off weird when he was doing that wine tasting. And well, I just turned 21 like 3 months ago in February. So I just turned um, I just turned 21 like 2 months ago in February. So I'm not really the best person to talk about drinking wine, because I haven't even had it yet. I don't think I've actually tried wine yet. I've tried a bunch of other alcoholic beverages, but I don't think I've tried wine just yet. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I've no wait. Oh yeah, I think I've had wine one time. It was pretty good actually. This episode just seemed like this part of it was like, are they gonna just waste the wine? Like, what was the point of that? Why wouldn't you have, I don't know, Deacon, pour that little samples of it and then put the wine back? Are you just going to waste the wine and throw the rest of the bottles away? Also, I had no idea that wine was from different regions. I didn't know there was like an Italian, French, and then a California version. Does each state have its own separate version of wine or something? Wow. What does South Carolina wine taste like? What does North Carolina wine taste like? What does Wyoming wine taste like? Did New Mexico got its own wine too? Jeez, I did not know that. But he was tasting the wine, and I didn't know what this guy's character was gonna be because he just showed up yesterday. But why is it now today that his character comes off as a con artist? Because he was talking with Deacon, and his grandson was got some corn, and his grandson was eating the corn, and his grandson was telling him all what each type of wine it was: French, Italian, or California. So why is he coming off as a con artist? Was this supposed to be funny? Because this ain't funny. It's like, so he's a con artist? He's a sommelier con artist? Out of all the things to con people out of, why would wine be your first option? Money, jewelry, blackmail? Why would wine be something you con people out of? Also, how does his grandson, who's clearly got to be, I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, why does he know what wine? How does he know about wine? Why does your young your very clearly still child grandson know about wine, dude? Like, why is that a thing? I did not. I don't know why he came out today as like a con artist. I mean, he's a funny comedian, and J.J. Woods on Good Time was really good if you've seen him. But I don't get why he's a con artist. Why couldn't this have just been a dude who showed up? Go, okay, this wine is this, and that. Also, what was the point of the spitting part of it? That whole scene just seemed unnecessary. Like, well, we got to give Deacon something to do. Let's make a funny joke out of it. I don't know where this is gonna go. I guess it was supposed to bring some levity to this episode. I guess because the rest of this episode is basically just trying to set just basically annoying and a guy trying to push his belief and his values and his desires onto his son. So getting into that, let's now talk about Widge and RJ scene, which Charlie was there too. Charlie's always funny to me. I don't know. I know some people don't like him. Some people find him annoying. I like him. I've always liked him. He's always been funny to me. I think I just like his sense of humor a lot because it reminds me of people who I hang out with. Like that's a lot of my friends' sense of humor. We have the sense of humor of we like to crack jokes at each other and we like to kind of make fun of each other at times, but it's in all good hard fun. So Widge is talking to RJ, and Widge is like, RJ, you need a real job. He has a job. It's actually a pretty good job. He's a content creator. He's a content creator because social media influence sounds stupid and dumb. And it kind of sounds like you're trying to influence people to believe what you believe. No, you should not do that. No one should ever make you believe something just because they believe it. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But Widge is like, you need a permanent job. Like, he has a job, dude. Like, your job is permanent, Widge. Wasn't there a time in like 20? Wasn't there a time that Bill pushed you out of plane and you couldn't draw anymore? So you had to get help. You had to get help from Widge's wife to help you redraw. That's all I'm gonna say there. Just know. I'm sure if you know who I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna bring it up. I ain't bringing that up. But yeah, that's what happened there, Widge. Remember that time, when you fell out of a plane and you couldn't draw, so you had to get Widge's wife to help you? So clearly your job's not permanent either. Is anything really permanent anymore nowadays? I mean, it's 2023. Is anything really permanent? So that just annoyed me and kind of pissed me off that he's trying to say that people who are YouTubers, social media, if you call yourself that YouTuber, content creators, it basically trying to say that anyone who makes content on the internet it's not a real job. Thanks, well, geez, thanks, dude. That kind of offended me now. I know this is a soap opera, and yes, this is a soap opera. But now I'm kind of just annoyed and offended because I make videos for a living. Well, at least I'm trying to. I mean, I don't get paid yet, but that's what I'm trying to do here. And I made 15 of these so far, and people watch them. People watch them, so I must be doing something like people watch them. So that kind of annoyed me that he's kind of saying people who make videos on the internet don't have real jobs. Geez, thanks, Brad Bill. That's great to hear. So that kind of upset me. Basically, kind of what I'm doing for my life, what I'm trying to do with my life, But they're talking, and Widge is like, I think you should just take the pencil and draw. So RJ goes on to draw. And what he drew was not half bad. I mean, I think it was supposed to be Widge. I'm assuming it was supposed to be Widge because he was like, I drew what inspired me, and that's you, Dad. I mean, it was a good drawing. I mean, it was a good drawing. Ironically, it was a very nice suit. I mean, I don't know if this was supposed to be taken as a complete and utter joke, but it was actually a very good drawing. I can't draw. I can trace though. If you give me a computer, a piece of paper, a pen, I can trace like no other. I can trace anything. I can trace so good that you think it might be real art, but it's not. So Audrey's like, I don't want to disappoint you, Dad. And I guess that's where he's coming from. Is that how he's going to become a Forrester creation designer because he doesn't want to disappoint his father? Because that's apparently all children. Apparently that's most kids nowadays. Apparently most kids, from what I met, apparently they don't want to disappoint their fathers or moms or nobody. I mean, it is true though. I mean, like when my mom used to get mad at me, she would never say, I'm mad at you. She would never say, I'm mad at you. She would never say, I'm not upset. I'm not upset with you and I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed in you. That makes it worse. That makes it worse. If you're mad at me, that's one thing. But if you're disappointed me, that makes it worse. Disappointment is the worst thing you can have. That's how parents get you. That's how my mom used to get me to change my behavior. She would go, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. I'm like, well, great, I disappointed you. That's not good. So yeah, that's what happened there. So clearly this is setting up Audrey to, I guess, become a designer, which I guess could be cool, I guess. I mean, we all know why he's going to become a designer, because, I guess they're going to do a rival between Thomas and RJ. And, speaking of Thomas, here comes a part of this video that I'm not too thrilled to have to make, because, I don't want to offend anybody, and don't want to upset anybody, and I don't want to make anyone feel that I'm rude and hateful to their supposedly favorite character, even though I don't get it. But Thomas and Hope are together again. That's always fun to watch. I mean, they're two of the most unlikable people together. You put them together and they're just so unlikable. It's like I'm watching two people who should never interact with each other on my television screen. I just don't see it. I don't see it romantically. I don't see it as friends. I don't see it as fake parents. I don't see it as anything. I don't see them being anything together. I don't see what you guys see. I just don't get it. But they're talking, and all of a sudden again, Hope is going, oh, Thomas, you're such a great designer. Oh, Thomas, you're such a great father. Lies, lies. He ain't a great father, trust me. Thomas is a terrible father, trust me. If you watch this program long enough, we all know the stuff Thomas did to Douglas. Would you like me to tell you some of it? Well, he lied about he wrote a letter from Caroline Dedko telling Douglas that it was okay that she was dead, and it was time for him to move on to Hope, and Hope his mom now. He made it seem like Caroline came back to life as a ghost. He verbally eviscerated and yelled at his son after Douglas told Liam Beth was alive. He's emotionally manipulated his son before. He made Hope become Douglas's mom based off the fact of a lie and that Caroline died, which is his excuse to why he did this. Did that scream good father to you? Does really taking your son to some type of sports game and say, I love my son and I'm gonna do better, does that really change? Does that really change who he is as a person? Does that really make him a better father? No, it doesn't. And in my whole situation with biological fathers is for some reason I'm not a big fan of them, especially the ones on TV because as I'm sure I've said once or twice, I've never met my biological father, and I have no use to meet him because I need nothing from him. He's nothing to me as far as I'm concerned. He's just some dude. He's just some dude who was there. Basically, that's what I look at it. It's just some dude who was there. I have nothing for him. I don't even consider him to be my father. I don't even like calling him that. But I wanted to be truthful here, But so yeah, I'm not a big fan of this whole thing of, oh, that's his son, that's his father, they gotta be connected, they gotta be together. No, that's not how life works. I never met my biological father because my biological father was a horrible person for what I've been told. And well, I'm glad I've never met him. I have no use for him whatsoever. And if I did meet him, I would tell him that to his face. I'd go, I don't care about you. Congratulations, nice to meet you. Anyway, have a nice life. Nice to meet you. Please get out. So I don't like this narrative. Oh, Douglas is Thomas's son, so they got to stay together. So they got to be friends. So they got to have him. No. No, if someone's father is horrible to them and is not a good father, get the kid away from him. That's that simple. I don't want to get off here and seem like I'm trying to promote stuff that's not actually on the show, but Thomas is a terrible father. I'm just gonna point that there. And he killed Emma too. I just like saying that. So other than that, they're talking and Hope is like, you're such a great designer, lies. You're such a great father, lies. I've really seen a change in you, lies. You really seem like a better person, lies. Really, Hope? Are you that stupid or are you just that dumb? One of the two. Because when she was talking, it's like it goes from her being attracted to him at certain points to this being like two people, this being like a brother and sister talking to each other. Like that's all I see here. Like this comes off to me as how my two cousins would interact with each other, who are brother and sister. That's how this comes off to me. It doesn't come off to me as two people with a child, two people who have feelings for each other. It comes off as comes off as a guy who's obsessed with this woman and a woman who looks like she's talking to her brother. Like if you look at the whole conversation they always have, it always goes back to that. Like there's small moments of you think that she might be attracted to him, but then it always goes back to these two are so unlikable together and they come off as brother and sister. More so than Steffi and Thomas does, honestly. It's kind of creepy. That's how I see it. I see this more as how two siblings would interact with each other. Even more two siblings, even if you want to go farther, I see this how I would interact with my cousins, with my cousins that are girls, like people who I'm away to. That's what it comes off to me as. Granted, I've never been in a relationship before, so I don't know what that's like. But I don't think it's this, because I've met people who've been in relationships, and none of them's ever acted like this. And they're trying to do a drum roll. One, you did the drum roll wrong. This is how you do a drum roll. You gotta have it on beat, Hope. You can't do a drum roll and not have it on beat. You were completely off tune. This was yours. See, completely different. So watch this. 1, 2. See, that's how you do a drum roll. You hope drum roll was completely offbeat, was completely unnecessary. So now they're acting like children. You know when you do, you know what, you know the only other people who do drum rolls in real life? Children. And I should know because we did a bunch of drum rolls when we were children. So this just came off to me as two children having a play date now. Now it's creepy because he lied about her daughter being dead. It's creepy because they used to be siblings. They used to be step siblings. It's creepy because they share a brother. And now they're also creepy because they act like siblings. Also now they're acting like children together because they had a drum roll. Really? Are you that immature? You need a drum roll? Really? Are you that immature? That wasn't fun. That wasn't cute. That wasn't adorable. That was stupid and dumb. That was unnecessary for you two to act like children. So I'm going to say that. So then she says, I'm going to try on the dress. Of course, then we get the stupid... Of course, then we got to hear from Brooke again, you know. Brooke go, at least you're not into the bad boys. And I thought Hope at first was going to pass out. Because it looked like she was going to pass out or be constipated. One of the two. Or four, I don't know. One of the three, apparently. So then we cut back, and then we go back to Audrey, but I've already talked about that. So then Hope is put on the dress, and I'm sorry. This is one of the ugliest things I have ever seen in my life. One of the ugliest pieces of clothing I have ever seen in my life. Like I looked at it, and I thought to myself, why is there beads on it? Why is there beads on it? Who thinks that's fashionable? That just looks hard to wear. Also, why is it white? This would look so much better if it was like half white and half blue. Like, you can't make a dress like that and make it completely white when the beads are white. It doesn't go together. Like, the dress would have been like white, blue, or something. Or maybe like just a complete blue dress. It is the ugliest. It is one of the ugliest dresses I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of ugly. And surprisingly for a dude, I've seen a lot of ugly dresses because I grew up mostly with women. So I've seen a plenty amount of dresses. This is even worse than that lime green one because that one could be better if you put some beads on it or if you gave it some life or something. But this is just ugly. This is just pure ugly and doesn't make sense. Why are there beads on it? So they're talking about that. She's like, yeah, I'm like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. And trust me, I've worn some bad clothing before. Trust me, I've worn some bad clothing before. If you went to school with me, you know. But none of you went to school with me, so you wouldn't know. But I'm just saying, I've worn some bad clothes before. But nothing this hideous. So he's doing something. It looked kind of like he was trying to sexually harass her. Kind of, you know. I'm just saying. That's kind of what it came off to me as. So they're doing that. And then she has thinking about what her mom said. And well, I would just like to tell you exactly what her thought was, why Thomas was doing this. And well, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, you can tell me I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm not smart for saying this. I don't care. This is what she said. This is what happened. Thomas did it. And well, what did Hope say? Let's see. Hope said, well, she had a flashback of Book saying, I'm happy that you've never gone for the bad boy, and I'm happy that you've never gone for the wrong guy. I'm happy you never gone for the wrong guy. Why with Thomas? So Hope and Thomas fans, explain that. Explain that to me. Explain to me how Hope thinking that why with Thomas doesn't show that even in Hope's mind, she knows this is stupid. And she knows that Thomas is the bad guy. Like, that's what I've been trying to say. That's a little bit of something I like to call foreshadowing. For if Hope actually does this, this is how she's going to think afterwards. Like, it's plain a day in the episode. That is her thought. She wasn't thinking about Thomas being the bad guy and being attracted to the bad guy. She was thinking about Thomas being the wrong guy. There's a difference between the bad boy and the wrong guy. Like, whatever you want to say about Liam, I know he cheated. Yes, we get it. We get it. He cheated on her like 10 years ago, and in 2021. But that doesn't technically count because there was There was many reasons he did it. I think I think Liam's whole character just has multiple concussions, so he's probably half lost it. Like if he was a weird person, I'm pretty sure he would most likely be in a be in a hospital for multiple different concussions. Because he's had like 20 of them, I think, at this point. But yeah, that's another thing I don't get. The whole kind of hypocrites Hope and Thomas fans of, oh, well, Liam cheated on Hope. Yes, we all know that. The love triangle from hell. Yes, we all know that. I saw most of it, all of it as I saw most of it literally as it was happening. I literally like the third episode I ever saw of this program was literally the start of that love triangle from hell. The build up to it. So yeah, we all know Liam cheated. That is nothing new. But people seem to forget that Hope's already cheated on Liam with Wyatt. People seem to forget that 9 years ago, Hope was dating, now even more, maybe 10 years, about 10 years ago in 2013, after Steffi left for Paris after her and Liam's son Aspen died. Wyatt showed up, and Hope started dating both of them, and she literally said she had 2 boyfriends. That's literally what she said. And the one thing about Liam doing love triangle, even at the original, even when he was cheating on both of them, it never came across as he was being vindictive in it. I don't think he actually wanted to be this horrible. I just think that he just kept getting put in these situations that made him do these horrible things. I'm not condoning what he did, because trust me, at the time I thought it was stupid. I was like 9 and 10. But what I'm trying to say here is that for anyone to say, well, Hope's never cheated on Liam before, this is something new. No, it's not. Google it. Go back and watch the episodes. She was literally cheated on him with Wyatt multiple times. She literally married Wyatt because Liam was 5 minutes late because Quinn pushed Ivy into her with him. So I know some people say, don't bring up the past, but for people to say that Hope and Thomas being together is something new and it's like Hope's never cheated before, because I've seen people say that, that's not true. She has cheated. What makes her any better than Liam? Not like she's Miss Innocent. She's never cheated. Okay. You can't say that because he has. She has. There's proof of it. You want proof of it? Literally, her and Wyatt has a son together. You can't deny, you can't sit here and tell me, well, Hope's always been fully committed to Liam. No, that's a lie. Granted, she was never in love with Wyatt, but that's a different story. That's a different story. But that's just what the part of it I don't understand, that some people can see this as, well, Liam's finally getting what he deserves. I don't think so. I think that already happened in 2014. I just don't see what the Hope and Thomas fans see. You know, this whole, well, clearly they're so good together. Clearly they got great chemistry. No, they don't. They got terrible. I'm sorry. You and Anna got no chemistry whatsoever. That chemistry of 2 people who could be brother and sister. In real life, that's their chemistry. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. That's what I see. That's my opinion. That's my perspective. That's what I see while I'm watching this show. And it's what I have built my perspective on because I've watched this show for 12 years. I don't care I don't like the whole thing of, well, I don't like the whole, you have to watch it from right now and only think about what's going on right now. No. You got to think about this. You just put all of this together. Why now all of a sudden does Hope seem like she wants to be with Thomas? Is she having a mental breakdown? Is she losing it? Or is it just because Brad Bell wants to do this storyline finally? And give the Hope and Thomas fans something to live for? Because, I mean, I guess you guys kind of need something, because you guys seem to be you guys seem to never give up. I mean, I gotta give you guys one thing. You guys really seem to want this to happen. I mean, geez. You guys are definitely like the Cleveland Browns. Because they're sadly probably never going to win a Super Bowl. And well, you guys are never going to get this, but you keep trying. You keep hope alive for that. But it's never going to happen. And honestly, I hope it does happen. Quite frankly, I want it to happen now. Not because I want Hope and Thomas to be together, and I will never say that, but I want it to happen though, so that then we can get the next part of the storyline, Hope crying about it and saying Thomas was the wrong guy. Because that's what's going to happen. That's how the story is going to end. That's how every story like this is going to end in soap operas. It doesn't end with the guy in Thomas' position getting their happy ending. Because no one gets a happy ending on a soap opera. Nobody does. That's never going to happen. There's never going to be one soap opera where somebody gets a happy ending. That's just never going to be the case. I just don't know what I'm missing here, quite frankly. I don't know if I'm just blind. I don't know if I'm just blind to it. If I just hate Thomas so much to the point that I could never want anything good for him because I don't want anything good to happen to him because anytime he's happy, I'm annoyed. Because I used to be a huge Thomas fan, and then 2019 happened, so kind of ruined that for me. So I think my hatred for Thomas is basically was carved out of my love and admiration for how he was my second favorite character, and at certain points. From 2011 to 2018, he at certain points was my favorite character on the show. At certain points so it's like all of that, jumbled with everything he's done, and with just what this promotes, and what it says, and the fact that today Hope literally thought about Thomas being the wrong guy. Like, what more do you need? What more do you need, Hope and Thomas fans? Like, even if they sleep together, which is probably going to happen, just so Hope can cry about it later on, that's not going to change anything. It's just going to be something that happens. And then in like 3 years from now, it would just be something that happened. But, hey, remember that time Hope slept with Thomas? Oh, yeah. Nothing ever came of that. Yeah, I figured. I could be wrong. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. Doubt it at this point. At this point, I doubt I'm wrong because everything I've said has pretty much happened. Granted, I didn't think we needed. I didn't think we needed the creepy flashbacks of thinking about Tom. I just think we could have had one fantasy of her going, oh crap, why am I thinking about Tom? And then she could have just said that for the next 2 weeks. But you do you, Brad. I don't get that. But why do we? I guess you had to give the Hope and Thomas fans something. They do need something. Because they clearly are never going to get Hope and Thomas together, but I hope this video comes off, even though it's like 27 minutes long, I hope it comes off a little bit more structured, that you can follow along better. What else do I got to say about this episode? It wasn't a good episode, because Thomas was in it. But now that I'm thinking about it, and I've thought about it, I think that if Hope and Thomas sleeps together, I'm just saying, what if they do? What then? What happens then? What happens then? What's the next step here? Because the next step is not them getting together. What's the next step here? Just the next step of her crying like a baby about it. Her going, oh man, I screwed up. And as we all know, Anna Noel can cry like it's nobody's business. That woman can cry. I mean, that poor woman can cry. I do not know how. That's an amazing talent. Because I cannot cry on command. I don't know how she can do that. Granted, if I worked for this soap, if I was employed by B&B, I would probably need a lot of psychological therapy. Like a lot. But yeah, if Hope and Thomas sleep together, what's gonna happen next? Do you really think this is gonna be a love story? No, that's not. No, it's not. We're gonna spend the next 2 months of Hope crying about it and begging Liam to come back to her. You wanna know how I know that? Because I've seen it before. It's what Liam did in 2021. That's what Hope's gonna do. It's what Hope did when she was married to Wyatt, pining after Liam the whole time. What she did the first time Steffi and Liam was married, pining after Liam. What she did the second time they were married, pining after Liam. It's just how this show operates. Like, I don't think it's good. I don't like it either, but it's just how this show operates, It's just that. It's just that Thomas is just a villain. Like there's nothing else about him. He's just a villain now. For some reason, he's the villain. He took over Steffi's role. Also, I'm not too for that. It has to be Steffi that has to see them. Could it be anybody else? Could it be RJ, Wedge, Eric? I don't think it would be Pam because she's on General, because Amy Mills on General Hospital. Pam. I mean, if Pam ever came back, maybe. Donna, Wedge, Eric, RJ, Carter, Katie, Bill, Liam. Could it Wyatt, Douglas? No, I don't think Douglas come back because he had to broke his arm. Will possibly if you bring him back. Could it be Steakin? Could it be somebody else? You could have got the comp. You could have got J.J. Walker from Good Times to be the guy that sees them. Why does it have to be Stefan? Like, why do we always have to be constantly reminded that Liam and Steffi used to be together? Because it's not fun to be reminded of that because I love them together. Because I didn't want Steffi to cheat on Liam with Bill. I wasn't excited about it. I was pissed. I thought it was stupid. Because as I've said, I was a bigger fan of Liam and Steffi at the time. But as it goes, Steffi slept with Bill and ruined that for me. So that's why I'm not a big fan of Steffi Forrester. But I guess what I can say else about it, the comedian guy made no sense because now he's a con artist. RJ's apparently going to become a designer so he doesn't disappoint his father. And if Hope and Thomas sleep together, nothing's going to change. It's going to be Hope crying about it for a month. And what are you people actually going to get out of it? What are the Hope and Thomas fans actually going to get out of it? What are you guys going to get out of this? Is this really going to make you happy? Like, do you really want this bad? Or is it just something that you want, and then once it happens, you're going to somehow be upset about it? Because that's what tends to happen on this stuff, with stuff. You get something, and then you hate it. Later on, like, oh, but this sucks. Trust me, it's happened before, but I got nothing else to say. Can't wait for Friday's episode. Can't wait for tomorrow's episode. That should be some fun. Because this episode, I thought there was supposed to be Molly, but the Molly lasted like 5 seconds at the end. Although I can't wait for the comment section of today's B&B video because I can't wait to call out Hope St. Thomas is the wrong guy 95 times. This should be some fun. I got nothing else to say. Tune in tomorrow for my 16th Bold and the Beautiful episode. Everybody have a wonderful day.